What is a transformational coach? There are lots of coaches out there, and today we're talking about what makes transformational coaches so important in our lives. Welcome. I'm Kim Marie, and this channel is all about supporting women to become their most empowered self so they can live their most empowered life. I myself am a transformational women's empowerment coach. So what exactly is a transformational coach? We're going to dive in today into defining what a transformational coach is, distinguish the difference between a transformational coach and other types of coaches, take a look at whether or not a transformational coach might be a great option for you, and also I'm going to offer at the end some tips around what to look for if you are choosing a transformational coach. So what is a transformational coach? Well, first and foremost, a transformational coach is going to focus on transformation, and that is in contrast to transactions, okay? So a transactional coach is usually trying to get you from point A to point B with transactions or tasks or steps or goals that you have to get there. Now, a transformational coach might also be looking at certain transactions, but they're also looking for transformation. So let me give you a simple example here. Maybe someone comes in looking to have a coach that is going to help them find the love of their life, right? They're going to go to a relationship coach to find the love of their life. And in that process, the coach gives them this task and this task, and the tasks might be things like, okay, well, we need you to get a stylist and adjust your wardrobe. And then we need you to have some photographs taken. And then we need you to put your profile up on a dating site. And then we need you to have a special writer to write that profile so it's really attractive. And then you're going to go on X number of dates, and I'm going to coach you through what to do and what to say and how to do it. And then you're going to find the love of your life, right? That's very transactional, right? There's a process there of like, take this step, then this step, then this step, and we're going to get to the goal of X number of dates, and then you're going to find the love of your life. And by the way, there are no guarantees in any kind of coaching because coaching is very dependent on both the coach and the participant, right? So it's really about how much are you willing to put into it and where can you go? Now, obviously, lots of experienced coaches have great experience getting people the results that they want. A transformational coach in the same scenario, if it's a transformational relationship coach, they might still have some transactional suggestions around, well, let me take a look at your dating profile. Let's see if there's something off there and we can adjust and tweak your dating profile or something along those lines. They might have a certain amount of transactions or consultation involved with it, but they're also going to focus on transformation. They're going to look at, okay, let's go deeper. I'm going to help you find the love of your life, but we need to find out what's blocking you from the love of your life. What is it in you and the way that you're showing up and the stories that you're telling yourself and the way that you're carrying yourself and your self-doubt and your confidence or what lack of confidence or any of those things that might be getting in the way? Do you have some inner saboteurs? They're going to do a deeper dive so that you as a person actually begin to shift. You transform. That's what the transformational coach is helping you to do. Now, this doesn't mean you become a different person. It means you transform into more of who you truly are. You're tapping into the best and deepest aspects of your creative potential and bringing them forth to create the fulfilling life that you want, right? I focus on women's empowerment. I am helping women find the things that disempower them, that keep them stuck, that keep them wondering why they can't achieve what they want. And I do it much more holistically because I tend to believe that if we're having trouble in one relationship, we're probably having trouble in other relationships. If we're having trouble at work, we're probably having trouble with other aspects of our life, maybe our personal care or whatever. Like nothing happens in a vacuum. There's always interrelated things. And it doesn't mean everything has to be falling apart or everything is great, but often there's always more than one area, more than one specific thing in our lives, right? So a lot of times you'll see coaches or even others, authors and things of books, they'll talk about things from a more transactional perspective in terms of how they market their coaching or how they title their book and what they promise. But then you go to read the book and maybe it promises you this new relationship and finding the love of your life. But in the book, it's actually teaching you all the things that you can do to become the best version of yourself, right? And then that becomes a more transformational process. A lot of people initially look for the transactions because they know transformation is tough for them. It's difficult. They know that it might require some deep inner work. It might require some discomfort, okay? So that's a huge difference between a transformational and a transactional coach, all right? Now, I have a couple of other videos on coaching that I encourage you to take a look at. One is what makes a great coach, and that will guide you into what to look for when choosing a coach. And the other is coaching or therapy and how to know what's right for you. So you want to take a look at those videos to get more distinctions on coaching and what coaching is all about and what might be the right path for you. Ultimately, a transformational coach is going to have attention on your growth and your forward movement. They're going to be taking a look at who, how, and where you are in your life right now to who, how, and where you want to be in your life. And they're going to do it in a way that's really excavating all of you and looking at a holistic picture of you, hopefully. I do tend toward more holistic picture. Not everyone does. Some people focus only on mindset and beliefs. Some people focus on just, emotional realm or somatic coaching, which is more about the body and what lives in our bodies. I tend to believe it all works together. Nothing happens in isolation. So this is the transformational coach is going to want to see how you can do this deep work. It requires deep work, as I've said. So that is what you're looking at when it comes to, what is a transformational coach? What do? They are ultimately providing tools for ongoing transformation. I encourage you to take a look at the tools in my resources section in the description because I have many of them, including an opportunity to sign up for an individual exploratory call with me to see if coaching feels like a good path for you right now in your life. So how does a transformational coach differ from other types of coaches? Well, we already talked about that a bit, just contrasting a transformational coach with a transactional coach. But what I want to say is that a transformational coach can actually be in many domains of your life. You can have women's empowerment coaching, like with me. And as I said, you can schedule a free consult to see if that feels right for you. There's leadership coaching. There's parenting, wellness, health, business, and relationships, all of which can be more transformational coaching focused, right? They can also be transactionally focused. Often transformational coaches are going to include transactional aspects in their coaching, right? I do that. I offer guidance and mentorship in addition to the coaching, so that I'm also sharing my lived experience, and that's part of why I became a coach. A lot of transformational coaches became a transformational coach because they themselves had the transformation and they want to share it with others, right? Similar, transactional coaches figured out the steps that you need to do to get from point A to point B. So that's what you're doing. And you're going to see both types of coaches in all of these different domains, okay? So you have your transformational coaches, you have your transactional coaches. There are also mentors, right? And there's slight differences there. There are things like fitness coaches, which are going to be more about a process or maybe a program that they're giving you or consultation. And that can be transactional because you're looking at, okay, I'm going to do step A, B, C in order to lose X number of pounds, and it's much more specific. It can also be transformational because let's face it, if you lose 100 pounds because you work with a fitness coach, that's going to be pretty transformational in your life. You're going to show up differently. Your whole being, your whole presence is going to be different, not just physically, but internally as well. You're also going to have your goal-based coaches. And again, goal-based coaches are going to really focus on a goal, not the transformation. Their focus is going to be to get you to that goal. Maybe the goal is transformation. Okay, that's fair. But a lot of times it's like, okay, I have a goal of earning X dollars in my business, or I have a goal of, reaching X number of people in my marketing, or whatever it is, right? And they're going to focus on taking you through the steps. And again, often that's probably going to be much more transactional than it is transformational. So would a transformational coach be of support to you? That is a really important question to ask. One of the first things I love to consider is, are you going through a major transition in your life? A lot of times transitions in our life are an immediate trigger toward a transformation in our life, right? Whether we're going through a change in relationship, like a divorce, or even a marriage. Like, it's very different to be single and then be married and have to figure out your life shifting into that way of being, right? Or are you going through a major health challenge or transition where you have to meet some challenges and go through some of those difficulties? Are you moving? Are you changing careers or longing to change careers? If you're experiencing some of these transitions, a transformational coach can be so helpful to you, because a lot of times we're experiencing the transitions or longing for the transitions because something in us is also longing for a certain amount of transformation. We're longing to excavate more of that inner wisdom, the depth, the deeper inner knowing that we know is going to help us live more fulfilled and empowered. Another reason to hire a transformational coach is to ask yourself, do I see a gap between where I am now and where I want to be? And if there's a big gap, then chances are you want to look at, who can I become to be where I need to be? And in that question of who am I wanting to become, there's a perfect opportunity for a transformational coach to support you. Another piece to consider is, are you willing to do the work? If you are not willing to do the deep dive, to actually do the homework your coach assigns, to dive into depths, to be willing to answer questions that might seem uncomfortable, to be real with yourself and real with your coach, transformational coaching may not be for you, right? You're not going to have a transformation if you're not really willing to go to those depths. Are you open to an entirely new perspective? That's another thing that transformational coaches are really good at doing, is offering you completely new perspectives, a completely different way of seeing things, a completely different vantage point. And that is super important to consider, because if you're going to transform, a lot of times part of that transformation is simply bringing you to new vantage points. It's not changing who you are as a person, it's bringing greater awareness to the surface for you. So you have to know that you're willing to change perspectives. And that can be painful too, because maybe you've had different beliefs and stories and ideas and perspectives that have felt safe and comfortable, and this is going to take you out of your comfort zone for sure. Now, I want to leave you with one thing to watch out for if you're going to hire a transformational coach. One question to ask: are they trained? And what's their experience? Okay, really, are they trained? Do they have formal training that you feel comfortable with, that allows them to really hold the space for transformation? Transformation can be messy. It can be challenging. You want to know this person maybe has direct experience going through these transformations, but also the training, because direct experience is amazing for coaching, but the training also is a big part of what makes a huge difference on how you show up as a coach. So I myself have had experiences of being coached by someone who called themselves a coach, but did not have the formal training, and they did not honor even just the most basic things of honoring safety and ethics. And they talked about private information that I had spoken with them about in a conversation when we were then together in a group of people. That's completely inappropriate, and it creates an incredible sense of lack of safety. Needless to say, I did not coach with them anymore, but you want to make sure that you're going to be held in a sacred space, in a safe space to do that transformational work. And the training is what teaches coaches how to make sure they're maintaining that sense of ethics. They know how to hold space for the difficulty and the big emotions and the challenges that can come with transformation. So that is the biggest thing the biggest tip I want to give you. If you're thinking about looking into a transformational coach, make sure they've been through formal training to understand how to hold you through that space of transformation. I hope this is helpful. I hope that the question of what is a transformational coach has been answered for you, and it's offered you some more detail. It offers a really amazing opportunity for your growth and your future sense of empowerment. I'll see you in the next video.